Alright guys, a big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Meta, and today you are here with a video to finally come to a very important conclusion. The question is that I get asked, what is the better Bruce? BCS is coming up, we want to get a qualifier towards, and I actually want to do it this year with Bruce. And for doing so, first we will have to choose the right Bruce. And the question is it Unrivals or is it Viamance? Now, to come to that conclusion, we first have to build the perfect Viamance Bruce deck. Because Unrivaled, we've already put too much thoughts into it. We've built the deck. We have a lot of experience with the deck. But when it comes to Viamance Bruce, we don't, because we just added the new cards and we're thinking about the best combo, thinking about everything. So in this video, we will talk about the combo, then we will do a video to talk about the deck profile, then we will do a video to talk about the deck in comparison to the Unrivaled, and maybe showcase both turns, the killing turns, and maybe the turn before and turn after, and see how everything works out. So first, we have this deck. So to be able to have the perfect setup for this deck, you do actually need more cards than you normally do if you play another deck. I mean, in comparison to the Unrivaled. So what do we need right here? We do need the right setup. So let's say, for an example, to have the perfect combo, what you need is, most of the time, you do need a Persona, right? Because Persona, right? You do need, you need your Diver, so Julian. You need other cards like boosters, for an example. Let's say we have this. You need your promo. I still don't have those yet. They're coming in, the holo ones. I have the normal ones already. And you could add other cards, right? So we'll see how the combo will work out. So sometimes you have some of your big attackers. So let's say, for an example, anything that could actually get up to the 10k extra attacking, that's good enough. But normally your Patrick is actually a quite interesting card, because it's one of the cards that give you the ability to get rid of some of your opponent records, or you could also choose cards like Leathers, which could help you with soul charging and getting rid of some of your opponent records. But in my opinion, the Patrick is better. And then you could ask, D-Boy, why do you think the Patrick is better? Because Patrick is selective. You could select the cards that you need to get rid of from your opponent. They could be in the back row. They could be the two front rear guards. You could take whatever you want to take out of them. Sometimes you just want to get rid of some of their grade 3s that don't have shield value, but they have to place them on the Guardian Circle. So it's a very interesting card, and it does have the 10k power. Other card that you actually do play in the deck, and it's always good, is of course Jamil or Jamal, whatever. So all of those are good cards that you want or you could use in that turn. So let's play the turn out. So most of the time you want to have your Persona, right? Because you're doing a multi-attacking turn, and the Persona rate makes a huge difference. So you ride into your Viamance Bruce, whatever rarity you like to ride into, and then you will activate Persona ride. So let's do that right away. So this, I will make it like this. So it looks like you're facing the deck, and then you will see how strong it could be, or how crazy strong it would be. Because just strong is selling its shorts, in my opinion. So we'll activate the persona right. I will put it like this. And we'll get more dices because we will need those to be able to give the power. So let's get those out as well. And let's start with the combo. So basically, most of the time you have used your Eli. And other card that you could use instead of Eli is also your Stephanie, because Stephanie could give you the power to the unit in front of her, even if she is not boosting. So I will showcase where she becomes more effective than Eli, but I will put both of them just like that, so we have both options. And of course you have this boy chilling right here, and you will need to have your Julian chilling in the back row. Then the front two, they will be your attackers. And most of the time you want this in your soul. Gino should be in your soul, which I will show later how this all comes to the way it is. And then in the front row, you want any attackers that are strong by themselves. That is pretty much how the deck will play out in the most situations. So this could move to the front, which is also a good attacker because he will get the plus 5k if you're on final burst. So is good as well. In other situations, if you have those, then that's good as well, because both of them will get the extra 10k. If you have anything else to call to the front row, that's fine as well. But basically, you want some of the bigger attackers. So if you enter the battle phase, he will give you the final rush and the final burst, which means that a lot of units will get power, like the 10k right here. I'll switch this just because it's easier for me. And then, of course, you will have the 5k and the boosts on him. Or if you have her, then the unit in front of her will be the one gaining the power. And in some situations, is that better? It only makes a difference in one attack, but it could be effective. I'll show you later. So right here, let's say you're chilling on 4 damage because the combo works the best if you're on 4 or 5 damage. Why? Because your Julian will call 2 and your Gino will restand 2. That is basically the big reason. So chilling on 4 damage in this deck could be actually very lethal. If you chill on 3, that's fine as well. But in some situations, you will be taking the 4th damage. It's like a limit break 4 deck, which is quite interesting. So again, if you're having Eli, he gets the 5k. If you're having Stephanie, then this will be the one who will be getting the extra 5k from her skill. So that is the difference right here. So now is the question, how did we get Gino into the soul? Well, most of the time you could get it with the skill of Eli, or you had him in the turn before. If you had him in the turn before, you could attack with him, and his skill to go into the soul only needs final rush, which you have in this deck, even if this is the first turn you go to grade 3. So he will go into the soul, and you could add something back to your hand from your soul, which needs to be a normal unit if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, a normal unit, so you could not add a trigger, but you could add a PG or whatever you soul charged in the early game. So yeah, that's why Gino is most of the time already in your soul. Alright, so now you attack. So let's say you attack with this first, if boosting by an Eli, or if Stephanie is here, then you don't, because this is this is stronger. So you could attack with him first. He is 10, 20, 30. And you could activate his ability to Soul Blast something. And with that, you will take 2 of your opponent's Regards and you put them in the Guardian Circle. The thing is, his ability just said, when this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you are on Final Rush, Soul Blast 1, choose 1 of your opponent's Regards and move it to the Guardian Circle. If you're on Final Burst, you choose 2 instead of 1. So it's as simple as that. You could take whatever Regards they have and you could retire both of them, basically. They do guard with them, but hey, let's say you take in 2 5Ks, that will put them at 23. They need to drop a 15k right there just to to guard that attack, or they would need to take it, or they need to drop a 10k, or it does put them in the strange situations where it's just irritating for you to do this. And then you attack with him. So if, let's say, boosted by the Stephanie, if you don't want to use her boost ability, it will still be strong. But if you use their boost ability, then this will be 18, 23, 33, 43. And if this one was the one that is boosting, then you would rather not boost with him and leave him with the Julian, because this will make a better column. But in this case, actually, you could just do this, because this is quite good already. So you attack. If with her you boost, if with him you don't. And then at the end of the battle, you will activate his ability to retire 2. So you already attacked with 2, then you retire them to call this to the front row, or move it to the front row. And then you will activate the ability of him. So you attack with him. He will also get the 5k if the Stephanie is there, because she will keep giving the units in front for the extra 5k, even if she's not boosting, which is quite interesting. This goes away. You activate his ability by count blessing 1. You soul charge 2, and you call 2 from your soul. And those 2 will most of the time be Gino. And being Eli, or being something like Steve, because they will get the power. And in this case, he will get the 5k. And he will get more power depending on how much damage you have, which in the 5, if you have 5, then he gets more. So this would be 13, 23, 28, 38. 38 to your opponent Vanguard. Then this will attack. He doesn't gain power yet. So this is 10, 20, 28, 33. Now you attack with him. And now you activate his ability to restand this column, or this, depending on what you have. And then you use the Geno ability to soul blast 2, and then you restand them, and then they get the power as well. So they get 5, 5, and this will get another 5, and she will get a 5 from his ability. And then you right click, of course, and then you attack. So you attack, and you attack. And at the end of the battle, or at the end of the turn, this goes to your soul. You could add something back to your hand, which you could add a persona, right? Even if it's the one from your right deck, it doesn't matter. It could go to your hand, or you could add a PG or whatever you want. But in most situations, you add a persona, right? So next turn, you could do the whole thing again. So that is basically the first, let's say the one way to do it. But there's also another way to do it, because you have multiple options on what to do with his ability first or this ability first. So the first way that we showed how to do it, you did 1, 2 regular attacks, 3, 4, then 5, then 6, 7. So you did 7 attacks, 6 Vanguard attacks, and 1 Vanguard attack. But there is another way to do it. And that's when things get a little bit confusing, let's say. And how the other way works is, if by any chance you want to do the shenanigans with attacking with Vanguard, I will show you. So this is in your soul. This is basically on your field somewhere, and your field would look like this, or this, depends. But the difference is that Geno is not in your soul, but he's on your field. All right, so you persona road, so that's this, and then you enter the battle phase. So this is a 5k. He gets a 5k from her, and that's pretty much it. So what happens now? This will be the first attack. Then you attack with this. boosted. Then you attack with him. Then you activate his ability to restand this and to give him a 5k. But even because this was in the same column, it did not restand, it still get the 5k. I will explain. Well, his ability said when this unit attacks if you're on final burst, count +1, choose final burst, sorry. Choose a column, restand all of your Regars with the Diabolos card name in that column, and they get +5k until the end of turn. So you restand them and you give them 5k. Even if this boy did not restand, he's still in the same column, so he gets the 5k. That is huge. Why? Because he will benefit from the 5k when later on he moves to the front row, because he doesn't get placed again, he just moves. So you activate his ability to restand this column, he gets the 5k, he gets the 5k, and then Gino's ability to Soul Blast 2, and then you restand these. And then now you do your drive checks, and then you attack again. So you will be attacking with this first, then you attack with this. If you want to boost it or not, it depends, because you will move this right here. You could just boost it. And then at the end of the battle, you activate the skill. You retire these two, you move this to the front row, you attack with it. It basically, if you're on 5 damage, gets more power. Count blast 2, and then you could call 2 from your soul, which again, you call this and any other attacker that you have. If you have a Gino in your soul, you could do that. You could not benefit from his ability to restand again because your Vanguard already attacked, but you could still put him into the soul. Or you call something like a Patrick, or you call something like this, because this staying in the front row would mean that you will have got shield value for next turn, and then you attack with this. What is the big difference right here between this combo and the combo before? Is just when the Vanguard attack and what you leave in the front row. That is basically the big difference. And you benefit from him moving to the front row with the 5k, but if you do his ability later, then you could restand the one behind him. So again, two different ways to go about it. The first way, in my opinion, is better, because you will restand your booster, and with that you will generate more power, and you will have your Gino in the front row, which will go into your soul, and you will get something from your soul back to your hand. In both situations, Julian will end up being in the front row at the end of the turn, and in the most situations he will also be the one that will get retired against most of the decks that we have at the moment. So yeah, that is actually it. Those are the two combos that you basically do with the deck. If you want to do it in a different way, well, let me know. I will be very happy to see different ways to do the combo, but basically this is your most optimal combo that you could create in this deck, in my opinion. It's 7 turn attacks, and they are very strong. And your benefit is you will get a card back from your soul to your hand, which most of the time will be your Persona Ride. So you could Persona Ride again next turn, and you could create the whole combo again. What do you need for the combo? The two cards that you need are these two, and it will be easier. It would make things better if you have a Gino as well. And as long as you have these three, you're good to go. So the first turn, you need to have all of them, and then the turn after, this will already be in your soul, and this will already be on your field. And this is just a card that you need to call or keep another copy in your hand or whatever. Then you could make the combo again, because he's the one that will give you the extra attack. If you don't have him, it's okay as well, but then you need to call the Gino to the fields earlier. So what you want to do in that case, if you don't have the Julian and you have, for an example, the Eli, what you want to do is you want to call something like this, to call this from your soul, or if you have it in your hand, that's quite okay as well. Then basically this will be your attack, and this will be your other attack, and then you will attack with this. and then you will activate this ability to restand them, and you will activate his ability to restand them, and then you give them the 5k both, which is important because now this gets the 5k. Now you attack, you drive check, then you will attack with this. You could boost it, that's okay. And then you'll attack with this, unboosted, or attack with him first, then this column, that's okay as well. And then you activate this ability to retire these two and to move this to the front row, and then you could attack with him. He gets the 5k from him, he gets the 5k from his ability, and he gets a 5k from her, which is again a big attacker. And that's it. That's basically what you can do. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If you have the Chino, then you could create a little bit more. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the Julian is the only card that could give you the new column and give you the 7th attack. If you don't have Julian, then you get 6 attacks. It's still very strong 6 attacks, which that's why the deck will function with 1 Count Blast. And you should be fine even if you have 1 Count Blast. I mean, your opponent could not give you no Count Blast. That's almost impossible. And if they do, you could still restand using his skill, and you could also still get an extra attack using his ability because he does not cost a Count Blast. He would draw you 1, he gets you a card, and he gives you a Twin Drive, and doing so, you will also generate a little bit of hand advantage. But this deck is not very strong on creating hand advantage. If you compare it to the Unrivaled, because the Unrivaled gets 4 drive checks a turn and 2 Marjories, which draw you 2 cards. That's a huge hand advantage. But on the other hand, you will have to commit to the field from your hand. And with this deck, you will do that a little bit less because your Eli is an easy +1. Fills the soul, which is perfect, and also just call up a field. Give you an early game, which is something that the Unrivaled deck doesn't have. But in this deck, you could just create early game by having this calls himself, by having this calls to the field. So yeah, the deck is different even in playstyle, and that's something that I do like. That's why it's very hard to compare the 2 decks. I think the best comparison will be like your strongest turn, which one is better, and the other thing is, which will make the biggest difference, is what is the meta and which deck will perform better in that meta. That I think that's the best way to talk about it or to put it. All right, so that's it for this video. Next video we'll talk about the deck profile, and with that we will tackle this deck, and then we will go to compare the 2 decks and see which one does better in this current meta. Thank you again for watching, and thank you for tuning in to our channel. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next video. So till next time.